everything is there already for us to take. Just for all your babies, children, and so on, the entire family, give them unpasteurized milk and wild honey, and all this malady will disappear. As I said, milk and honey can prevent all diseases. Milk and honey can treat all diseases. Bioactive substances in milk with properties decreasing risk of cardiovascular diseases. That is from British Journal of Nutrition 2000. Milk is often seen as a potential promoter of atherosclerosis and coronary heart disease because it is a source of cholesterol and saturated fatty acids. But there are several studies indicating that milk and milk products may not affect adversely blood lipids as would be predicted from its fat content and fat composition. So that means even though it's high saturated fat, high cholesterol is good. I just discussed it this morning, right? Calcium, bioactive peptides, and as yet unidentified components in whole milk may protect from hypertension. Folic acid, vitamin C, pyridoxine, and B12 cyanocobalamin or other unidentified components of milk may contribute to low homocysteine level. As I said this morning, if the homocysteine is high, you are prone to develop heart attack, stroke, blindness, loss of hearing, and even Alzheimer's. Conjugated linoleic acid may have hypolipidemic and antioxidative and thus anti-atherosclerotic properties. So you don't like atherosclerosis, you don't like heart attack, you don't like stroke, you drink milk. Epidemiological studies suggest that milk and milk products fit well into a healthy eating pattern. Isaiah chapter 7, verse 14 to 15. Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. Behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. What's the name of Emmanuel? So he is the one talking to the Lord Jesus Christ. So the prophetic name of Jesus Christ is Emmanuel, means God with us. Curds and honey he shall eat, that he may not refuse the evil and choose the good. That means when the Lord was born, he was already given curds and honey. Where do you get curds? Like this. You get 10 liters of unpasteurized milk, culture that with lactobacillus and bifidobacteria. These are good bacteria, probiotics. Then you add the rennet from the gastric juice of the stomach, of the pork stomach of a cow, that's abomasum, and the milk will coagulate. 10% of that coagulates, that is known as curd, and that is converted into queso, cheese. And that is from the component of the protein component of the milk. It's called casein. The other component that did not coagulate is whey. Okay? That means si Lord, baby pa rin, nakakainom din siya ng whey at saka part, right? Next. Proverbs 23, verse 13 to 14. My son, eat honey because it is good, and the honeycomb which is sweet to your taste. So shall the knowledge of wisdom be to your soul. The Jews advocated honey as a producer of wit and intellect. It was supposed to make one mentally keen. Okay. So that's the reason kung bakit yung mga anak namin ni Mrs. Navarro ay on top of the line sa law at sa medicine, at lahat ng apo namin are accelerated. We must know. Okay. In ancient therapeutics, honey is a remedy for all diseases, according to Muhammad. Honey was abundant in ancient Cana, that the Lord God referred to it as the land flowing with milk and honey, or the Hebrews' promised land. The Egyptian papyri are full of praise about the curative properties of honey. The Papyrus Evers especially praise its medicinal value. According to this most ancient source of knowledge, honey was not only a staple commodity, but a popular medicine, extensive use internally and also externally. If you have wounds, if you have fungus infection, apply honey, it will disappear. Even sa mga bed sores, it will heal with honey. Respiratory tract, Give them honey and unpasteurized milk, and all these diseases will disappear. Milk and honey was their choice for infant feeding. Most of the medicines in ancient Egypt contained honey. So they used honey for surgical dressings for burns, ulcer, and preeminently for weakness and inflammation of the eyes. I use this especially for all my patients, for those with eye inflammation. But it is diluted. Even laxative and worm remedies, without exception, contain honey. Okay? If you like to get rid of worms, you can combat worms with the use of unpasteurized milk and wild honey. You don't need bone cream. Honey is widely used due to its sedative and soporific power and as a diuretic, pampatulog, it was a favored remedy for all kinds of inflammation of the kidneys and for stones. Remember, you said God is our healer, so now let's look at what is good for us that God can give to us. Oh, he said, everyone who thirsts, come to the waters, and you have no money. Come, buy and eat. Yes, come buy wine and milk without money and without price. Why do you spend money for what is not bread, and your wages for what does not satisfy? Listen carefully to me, and eat what is good, and let your soul delight itself in you. So here God recommends wine and milk. But milk is repeated again. Why wine? What is in the wine? How do you make wine? Yes, that's very close to you. How do you make wine? You get grape juice, you put their yeast, okay, you let it ferment, and you get wine. In Tagalog, tuba. In Ilocano, basi. Okay. Now, what is the critical thing in the wine that makes it powerful? It is yeast. As you will see later on, the power of the yeast. Okay, let's go on. In that verse, thirst is a metaphor for desiring what satisfies a person's spirit. Waters is a metaphor for the enjoyment of salvation of God. And wine and milk are symbols of complete satisfaction. Then in Isaiah 25 verse 6, the Lord thunders, and in this mountain the Lord of hosts. What mountain is he talking about? That is Mount Zion in Israel, where the temple of God is. So that means God is talking to the Israelites, right? Because God's dwelling on earth in the Old Testament time was in the temple in Jerusalem. But the temple of God was destroyed in 70 AD during the Roman Empire. Okay? Never to be rebuilt again. So God transferred His dwelling from a physical temple to a spiritual temple. So where is God's dwelling now?
In my heart.
In the Old Testament, the holy city is that Jerusalem. In the New Testament, the holy city is the New Jerusalem, and that refers to all Christians. So when we say, and in this mountain, He is talking to all Christians, with the remnant of the Jew. So now the holy city is worldwide. In the Old Testament, it was only exclusively in Israel. And in this mountain, the Lord of hosts will make for the people a feast of wine, choice pieces, a feast of wines on the lees, of fat things full of marrow, of well-defined wines on the lees. Wine on the lees are wines that were left upon the lea after the first fermentation is over, hence fully aged and filtered, and are therefore the best wines. So, what are the things that the Lord will serve to all Christians? Wine, fat things, what is that? Big belly, and bone marrow. Shocking, right? To show here that all of these things are good for the health. 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 23, Paul says, stop drinking only water and use a little wine because of your stomach and your frequent illnesses. Okay. Benefits from drinking wine in moderation. Like to moderate drinking, perhaps one per day, shows benefit in reducing risk of heart disease, with no increased risk of cancer. That is American College of Cardiology, year 2000. Wine lowers level of insulin in the blood and increases insulin sensitivity. So that's good for diabetics. Journal of the American Medical Association, 2002. Wine helps ward off mental decline associated with age like dementia and Alzheimer's disease. So that's in Lancet Journal. That's why the longest living person in the world, Jean-Marie Jaumet from France, she lived up to 122 years, and she was a wine drinker. And she was an egg eater. That's what we call French paradox. She used to eat plenty of eggs, plenty of butter, plenty of cheese, plenty of animal fat. And that is exactly the opposite of the American diet, right? Wine in moderation has been shown to raise HDL, the good cholesterol, and prevent blood clots from forming, so it prevents heart attack and stroke. Journal of the American Medical Association, 2001. Polyphenols found in red wine, gallic acid, tannic acid, maureen, quercetin, and lutein inhibited cell proliferation and promoted apoptosis. So that's good for cancer. So that cancer cell commits suicide. That is the British Journal. Promotes heart and blood vessel health in general, thereby reducing cardiovascular disease risk. American Journal of Epidemiology. And associated with a significant reduction in all-cause mortality. So wine can lower all-cause mortality by 30% and cancer mortality by 20 to 25%. Okay, Epidemiology Journal, March 1990. In the miracle of Cana, John chapter 2, 1 to 10. During the wedding, the Lord is just confirming that wine is good. During the wedding, they ran out of wine. So Mary approached the Lord Jesus Christ, and Mary said, "We ran out of wine. Would you please make wine now?" But the Lord answered, "Woman, it is not yet my time." But he obeyed. He ordered for 6 water pots or tapayan and had it filled with water. And then he told the master of the feast, "You draw now from the pot." When he drew there and tasted it, it's the best wine. Okay? Throw some out now and take it to the master of the feast. When the master of the feast had tasted the water that was made wine, and did not know where it came from, but the servant who had drawn the water knew. Then said, "Every man at the beginning sets out the good wine, and when the guests have well drunk, then they feel you have kept the good wine until now." So this means that the Lord is encouraging us to drink a little wine. Huli na kayo ng wine, mamaya. Not necessarily, but the Bible does not specify red or white. So long as it is wine, it is good. Okay? But don't use WWS wine. That will be dangerous. WWS wine. Dangerous? Because that means wine, women, and so on. Dangerous. Matthew 26, verse 26. And as they were eating, Jesus took bread, blessed and broke it, and gave it to the disciples, and said, "Take it, this is my body." So the Lord made the bread symbolic of His body. Okay? John 6, verse 47. The Lord said, "Most assuredly I say to you, he who believes in me has everlasting life. I am the bread of life. Your fathers ate the manna in the wilderness, but they are dead. This is the bread which comes down from heaven, that one may eat of it and not die." Then the Lord said, "I am the living bread, which came down from heaven. If anyone eats of this bread, he will live forever. And the bread that I shall give is my flesh, which I shall give for the life of the world." Now look at this. The Lord, this is what we call figurative expression, which means the Lord is saying, if you obey me as your Lord and Master, you will live forever. But he used bread as a metaphor for longevity. Because the people of old, they drank milk, they ate honey, they ate bread, and they lived for 900 years. So what is mysterious with the bread? Look at this. Whole wheat bread contains 40 nutrients that are not found in white bread. And all these 40 nutrients are needed to produce antibodies, to fight cancer, and to fight many diseases. You get that from whole wheat bread. And the whole wheat bread contains wheat germ. And what is in the wheat germ? It is superpower. Example, 2 sets of rats, they were injected with deadly bacteria. One set was given wheat germ, and the other set was not given wheat germ. The result, those not given wheat germ developed serious infection and all of them died. Those given wheat germ developed mild infection and all survived. So, if you are a doctor, you would think, what is wheat germ? Is it an antibiotic? You try to experiment, put the bacteria, but it will grow with wheat germ. So, what is in the wheat germ? The wheat germ is a super powerful food. It contains all the nutrients needed to produce antibiotics. That's why in the whole Asia, nobody gets well with hepatitis. You know that, right? But abroad, among Caucasians, white, and in my clinic, they got well. Because I give them wheat bread. I give them honey. I give them unpasteurized milk. So, compare bread and rice. Rice grain contains 10% protein. Wheat grain is 13% protein. The higher the protein, the more antibodies can be produced. The higher the protein, the more repair can be done, right? Now, rice is deficient in 2 amino acids, essential, lysine and methionine. Even though the rice is deficient only in lysine, you cannot make anything from rice. All the proteins of rice will be thrown away as uric acid. It will even cause more problems. You cannot incorporate them in the organ of the muscle. You need to supply the missing lysine and methionine by giving milk or egg. Now, look at the bread. The bread, wheat grain is also deficient in lysine and methionine. But when you make bread, you put there baker's yeast. And the yeast supplies all the missing essential amino acids, and the bread becomes super power. Okay? That's why all my patients, especially those with cancer, are not allowed to eat anything else on carbohydrate except whole wheat bread. Benefits of whole grain bread. It lowers risk of insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome, thus protecting against type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular diseases. That is from the Journal of Nutrition, year 2010. Whole wheat bread contains phenolic acids, lignans, phytoestrogen, and certain phytochemicals, which help lower the risk of cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. Journal of Nutrition, May 2011. It is high in fiber, which could reduce health risks like diabetes, heart disease, constipation, hemorrhoids, and colon cancer, among others. That's from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, 2007, and confers greater risk reduction in mortality from inflammatory diseases. American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, June 2007. Whole grain bread lowers risk of hypertension. Clinical Nutrition, just lately, August 2011. Reduces the risk of colorectal cancer. American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, May 2007. Associated with lower BMI and less central adiposity or abdominal fat. Okay? Body mass index for men it should be 40 inches, or lower. For women it should be 35. Created a feeling of satiety or fullness for a longer period, so you don't become hungry and keep on eating and eating. Nutrition Journal, 2009, and promote increases in bifidobacteria and lactobacillus. So it promotes the growth of probiotics in the intestine. That is from the British Journal of Nutrition, 2008. The parable of the leaven. Matthew 13, verse 33. Another parable is talked to them. The Lord Jesus Christ, the one speaking. The kingdom of heaven is like leaven, which a woman took and eat in 3 measures of milk till all was leavened. Leaven or yeast is a substance added to dough to cause it to rise. Yung baker's yeast, brewer's yeast, the yeast in the wine, they are of the same species, Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Yeast in your food will supply you all the missing essential amino acid. It will supply you with enzymes to improve the resistance against many conditions and to repair damaged liver, damaged kidney, damaged heart. That is yeast. Now, benefits from eating leavened whole grain bread. Beta-glucan, particularly beta-1316-glucan, extracted from yeast cell wall, improves the body's immune system, defense against foreign invaders by enhancing the ability of macrophages, neutrophils, and natural killer cells to respond to and fight a wide range of challengers such as bacteria, virus, fungi, and parasites. You could see, just eating bread, you can fight cancer, you can fight parasites, you can fight bacteria. Beta-glucans belong to a group of biologically active natural compounds called biological response modifier. Beta-glucan is immunostimulant. It enhances antibody production, an adjuvant, and can be a potential drug. They have shown remarkable anti-tumor, anti-cancer activity against a wide variety of tumors including breast, lung, and gastrointestinal cancer. Could reverse myelosuppression produced by chemotherapeutic drugs. I remember I was talking to a patient here, he's suffering from myelosuppression, okay, of his bone marrow. So that's why he becomes anemic and so on. And that means beta-glucan will prevent myelosuppression. That means myeloid tissue, which is the bone marrow, can become normal again with beta-glucan. Could reverse myelosuppression produced by chemotherapeutic drugs. So when you take cancer drugs, it will totally destroy your stem cells. Remember, bone marrow is a stem cell. It has hematopoietic stem cells, which, when it matures, it becomes red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Chemotherapy can totally destroy these bone marrow stem cells, circulating stem cells. The result is zero population after chemotherapy. But with the use of whole grain, everything can be reversed. Okay. Beta-glucan vitamin C combination resulted in positive modulation, liver fibrosis, and pathophysiological changes. By the way, I'll be talking about that tomorrow. Fibrosis scarring the liver, which leads ultimately to cirrhosis, and how to prevent that. That will be my topic tomorrow morning. Next slide. Genesis chapter 1 verse 30. And to every beast of the air, earth, and to every bird of the air, and to everything that creeps on the earth in which there is life, I have given every green herb for food, and it was so. 2 Kings chapter 4, 38 to 41. During the time of Elijah, after Elijah. Verse 39. So one went out into the field to gather herbs, and found a wild vine, and gathered from it a nutful of wild gourds, and came and sliced them into the pot of stew, though they did not know what they were. Then suddenly, somebody says, Men of God, there is death in the pot. That means they will eat them poisoned herb, and everybody will die, right? And they could not eat it. So after a miracle, all of them were spared. Although herbs are good, be careful. Okay? Long time ago, noni was introduced. Remember that? And everybody, I can find that in the market in the whole Pangasinan. Wherever you go, you find the noni, and everybody was taking noni. Suddenly, there were catastrophic events, and there was death from noni, and it just suddenly disappeared. Then one time I was amazed when sa aming gate, there was a plant that grew. I was shocked. All the cattle that passes through, goats, they destroyed everything that is planted except that plant. So I said, wow, this is good plant. Nobody likes to eat that. And I learned it's noni. It's too toxic for the animal to eat that. Right now, of course, I don't like to demean anybody. I will just speak the truth, right? Whatever I know. Regarding grape seeds and other compounds that contain procyanide. It contains cyanogen. Okay. Remember, cyanogen will prevent production of ATP and you will die immediately. Cyanide, right? There are many foods that contain cyanogen and seeds. I had 2 cases in the hospital at Specialist Hospital. 2 elderly people, they came to me, one is very, very weak because of heart problem, the other was because of eye problem. And I tell them, what are you taking? Well, I've been taking a lot of grape seeds given to us by our godson. So I told them, stop that, and I treated them. 2 weeks after, they came back to me. Because they told me it was given by the godson. The godson was a very strong fellow. Parang they told me, kamukha siya na sino yung budol na aking katawan? Si McQueen, and so. Si McQueen, luma na yun Schwarzenegger, okay. 30 years old with a big body and so on. And then the Schwarzenegger, godson told them, look at this, ninang. I will double my dose, triple my dose with grape seeds. You see, I will become strong. He was dead already. Within 2 weeks he died. Because the cyanogen becomes cyanide in the body, and it will block the production of ATP at the level of the mitochondria. Okay, that is a respiratory poison. Now, next time I had a case, a lady, and she was gasping for breath. She was just a very young lady, and she could not breathe anymore. I said, she was going to die. Then I told her, I interviewed her, she was taking grape seeds. I told her, stop that. I treated her, and she was very fine afterwards. Another one, a pastor. Some of you know him, the Pastor Marcus, remember? He came to my clinic. He had been to the lung center. He could not breathe anymore. And they thought he's suffering from COPD. Then I interviewed him, I asked, and he was taking grape seeds for almost 3 months. Then I told him stop that, I treated him. When he came back, he was well read. So, I don't like to demean anybody, but I have to speak the truth because I'm speaking in behalf of the Lord. Ezekiel 47 verse 12. Along the bank of the river, on this side and that, will grow all kinds of trees used for food. Their leaves will not wither, and their fruit will not fail. They will bear fruit every month, because their water flows from the sanctuary. Their fruit